Idaho and New Mexico State are off to the Sun Belt Conference. There are only 4 independent teams left, but they're all pretty interesting. I'm Pete Fiutak for CampusInsiders.com. We're breaking down the 2014 independent teams. Here's what you need to know to be an expert.
Oh, you're a clever one.
All right, so there's 4 independents left: Army, Navy, BYU, Notre Dame. How do they fit in the new world of college football? With all the talk about the Big 5 conferences, cost of attendance, all the new rules and regulations and things that are going on, the independents have got to find a way to fit in this whole thing. Navy's going to go to the American Athletic Conference next year. Army's still a little bit in limbo. BYU is the program that's still trying to figure out what it's going to do next. Because Notre Dame, they're kind of being lumped in with the ACC. While they're not officially part of the ACC in all ways, they're kind of being used that way. So now for the independent teams, they've got to figure out what their next move is. All right, Doug Chapman, who is your independent player to watch out for?
Whoa. The player I'm watching is quarterback Malik Zaire from Notre Dame. Everett Golson's back. He's the more experienced one, but Zaire's had an excellent spring. He has not backed down from competition. He's actually looked better and outplayed Golson. Golson may be the first quarterback on the field this season, but don't be surprised if Zaire gets the most playing time and wins the most games and ends up taking more snaps for Notre Dame. Pete, what are some independent matchups we should watch this fall?
There's no conference schedule to worry about. So here's the fun thing for all 4 programs. They get a lot of fun games they get to play. Army versus Navy is obviously the one everyone watches out for. Navy's got to play Notre Dame. But Navy also has to play Ohio State early on in the season, which is going to be an interesting test for the Buckeyes. This Navy team is loaded with experience. Of course, all things Notre Dame are interesting. They have to play Michigan, Stanford. They go to Florida State. They go to Arizona State. And, of course, their rivalry game with USC is always a big one. That one's played out in L.A. But BYU also has a bunch of key games. They play Texas, kind of a rematch of last year's shocker. They have to go to UCF, and they have to play Boise State. Lots of interesting matchups. Doug, who is the best independent team?
Choose wisely.
Pete, Notre Dame is the best team of the independents. You've got Army, you've got Navy, you've got BYU. Notre Dame's got the toughest schedule. You mentioned it. You look at where they line up. If they get some big wins, they can make some noise in this college football playoff situation that's going to be taking place in 2014. So out of the independents, Notre Dame's the best team.
Yeah, Notre Dame's the best team, but you see this schedule, they might not have the best record among the independents. Keep an eye on Navy. Yes, they've got to deal with Ohio State. They have a couple of tough games, but this team is absolutely loaded with experience. This running game and Keenan Reynolds should be unstoppable. The defense should be a little bit better. Keep an eye on Navy for a possible 10-win season. We are breaking down all the top teams and all the top conferences here on CampusInsiders.com.